Yes guys, today we're going to be doing a good old-fashioned step-by-step hair system installation. If you're new around here, you might find this really helpful, especially if you're new to wearing systems or if you're thinking about getting a system, or if you're an experienced system wearer and you just want to know how I do it, you might also find this video useful too. I'd like to say thank you to Levivid for sponsoring this video, and here is a quick message from them. Today's sponsor, guys, is Levivid. You can find them at levividhair.com. You can get a 15% discount code on any stock hair system or accessories that I've negotiated with them just for you guys. It's Adam15. All the information is in the description box below this video. If you want high quality hair systems with good shipping times and top customer service, consider Levivid. Now, before I crack on with this video, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, it will help more people find this content. It's free content. I'll be able to make more of it, the more followers that I get, and then more people can get free advice and tips on hair systems and solving their hair loss issues. So, step number one, you need to make sure that you have some sort of adhesive remover. Now, I always use C22. It's by far the most popular product in terms of adhesive remover on the market. So it's sold by Walker Tape and you can get it pretty much anywhere. Amazon, I've got it from eBay as well. Holistique.co.uk in the UK also do it. There's probably vendors in America that do it. I think Walker Tape have their own website actually in America where you can order products direct from them online, or they can point you in the right direction. But generally you can't go far wrong with Amazon or eBay. Those two are usually the cheapest platforms as well. So I always start from front to back. So I always start by spraying with the C22. This system has been on for about 9 days. And if you've watched my most recent videos with this particular base, I'm keeping it on usually on average between 7 to 10 days. I just find at that point it gets a little bit itchy and I just want to basically shave what's under. So you can see it's fully taped up. It's usually towards the back that the tape is a bit stronger, because guess what guys, we sleep on pillows. That means the back of our head is pretty, well, it takes the whole weight of our brain effectively when we're sleeping. So you'll find that the bond is usually the hardest at the back, or the strongest rather. It's actually coming off pretty easily, which is good. So the last couple of weeks I've actually been using sunshine tape at the front. I think it's called Lace Frontal by Sunshine, and it's really comfortable and the bond is really good as well. So no lift at all in 8 days, and not even close to lifting, which is fantastic. And I actually use some ultra hold strips in the middle of the system because I find the bond is quite good. It can be a bit hit and miss, the ultra hold strips. I sometimes find I get on with them, I sometimes find I don't. So you just have to find what's right for you. So the next step we want to undertake is getting the glue strips, or not the glue strips, getting the tape strips off of the base and then giving it a clean. The best way to do that is by using cotton balls. So you want to get a ton of cotton balls. You want to get some thumbtacks so they can hold the system in place on the mannequin head. You know, the thing is, with cleans and rebonds, they're actually really easy, but it's very hard when you're trying to film it because you have to be mindful of keeping every single thing in frame and basically talking through every single thing. So it's not that easy when you're filming it. It's a lot easier when you're just doing it on your Todd, as we say in the UK, which basically translates to doing it on your own. Right, so what I usually start with is there's some tape on the base in the middle. And I always start with that because that's usually the easiest to come off. Make sure you have a bin handy because it can get sticky, and you want to make sure the sticky stuff goes into the bin. And you want to make sure, if you're doing it in your bedroom, that you try to keep the tape away from the carpet if you have a carpet. Right, so again, apologies for the amateurishness of this particular video, but I feel that it's really important to do one of these maybe once a year, just for new subscribers who are new to hair system content and they can't find clean and rebond videos. I've actually had quite a big jump in subscribers. You can see what I mean by the gluiness. I've had quite a big jump in subscribers in the last 3 to 4 months, and God bless them, a lot of them, they kind of ask me questions that I've done videos about. They're like, oh, how do you do this, or how do you do that? And I'm like, well, just look at this playlist, for instance, or go back 4 videos to this one. So I kind of feel that with certain things that are important, like these kind of tutorials, I will do maybe one of these like once a year, just so that people who may have joined in the last year and haven't seen the original rebond video, they can just sort of see it here. What I've noticed with this is that the tape is coming off quite nicely. So I'm literally just pulling it at this point. I'm literally just pulling it off. So it's coming off the silk. This is a silk base in the middle. These thumbtacks are not doing the best job. Here we go. So I didn't even really need much cotton wool for this. I'm just pulling it off. By the way, if you have an ultra thin skin, some people use tape. With an ultra thin skin, I wouldn't recommend it. I just wouldn't, because I've had times where I've had an ultra thin skin and it's torn, and it cost me a lot of money to replace it because I put tape on, because tape is obviously easier to clean up than glue. Right. Oh, okay. Now this is the boring bit. I hope you guys can see this. I'm just literally pushing it off like that. And these strips actually come off really easily. One of the bonuses of using strips rather than just long tape, I tend to use both at the moment. So ultra hold tape or strips, ultra hold strips, they're about that long. You can get them on Amazon. And then I'm using Sunshine lace frontal front. And Sunshine tape is sold at most vendors. I got my last batch from Holistique. I've actually been really impressed with the Sunshine tape. I'd never used it before until a couple of weeks ago, but the hold is good and it's very, very comfortable. It doesn't really itch that much at all. In fact, actually, the last 8 days, I've barely had any itch whatsoever, which is always a good sign. I'm going to take these thumbtacks out because they're annoying me. And then you just got to use a bit of muscle. So if you zoom in on the system... And I'm just literally just pushing the tape off like that. It's just coming off nice and easy. This time next year I will find a better way of filming this. I'm just having to do it in my bedroom today because my other half is working next door. But this is what you're going to have to deal with for now, guys, I'm afraid. Right, so I've already cleaned the tape off half of the system and it's been, what, 3 minutes? Which is awesome. And then, with the tape that's a bit more stubborn, just put a cotton ball on it and just dab it like that. Like so. That was I actually only went through 1 cotton ball, just doing like half of the system, 2/3 of the system even. Okay. And then just want to push that off. And then sometimes you can just pull the tape off. Obviously, be careful. You don't want to tear the base. This is quite a robust base, so it's a mixture of. This is called the Tyler by Le Vivid, and it is a silk base with a French lace frontal and poly around the edges. Okay. And it's pretty cozy, it's pretty snug. It's been cold in the UK. It's been really cold actually. So having this on actually, it kind of keeps your head quite warm. I went to see some friends last night and everyone was like, oh, it's so cold, my head's freezing. And I was like, mine isn't. Okay. Perfect, it's coming off quite nicely. So at the moment I'm just pushing it off the base. Some people prefer to push it back into the middle of the base. I'm not too precious about that. I just tend to sort of push it off the base. I try and push it rather into, actually towards the hair. I know some people don't recommend that, but it doesn't really make much of a difference, and it's just easier to push it off this way. I just find you can get a better, there we go. You can just get a better grip on it. That's it pretty much. It's come off. Sweet. Awesome. And then you will have just residue left on the base, and you just want to dab it with a cotton ball like that. Oh, regarding the mannequin heads, you can get them for, they're about £7.50 in British pounds sterling. That's maybe I don't know, like $10. I don't have an eye on the latest currency conversion, but if you want to know, Google. Just Google it. Now I'm just pressing down the lace to just push away the excess glue. It can be quite helpful at this point to give it a spray. So as you can see, it's pretty much gone from the back, but at the front with the lace, there's still residue. So C22 can come in really handy here. Just want to spray it. I'll just spray it all over, to be honest. Excelente. I'm going to leave that for a couple of seconds. My head is quite itchy because it's got residue on it. As I said, I'm going to shave that. You always just want to shave the boarding area where the system goes. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get a correct camera angle for that particular part. It's just impossible. But it's pretty simple. You just literally just shave the boarding area. It can be quite handy to have a mirror behind you so you can see from both angles, like where you're going with it. But what I will show you later in the video is basically once I've cleaned this, I'm going to be applying a different system. Actually, I've got an ultra thin skin, and I'm going to be bonding that with glue. So you've seen tape here, and next I'm going to put on some glue on the ultra thin skin, because I'm a man of my word, and I always say on an ultra thin skin, do not glue, do not tape an ultra thin skin base, because you're taking a massive risk. Right, let's clean off the rest of this. We'll give it a couple of seconds now. You have to be quite firm with this as well, you know. This isn't child's play. And another thing I will add is that more often than not, you will not get all of this residue off just by using cotton balls. I always say cotton buds for some reason. It's like instinctive. I don't know why. There we go. But you clean off as much of it as you sort of can. And then what you do, and I've done a tutorial on this, so you want to head over to my tutorials playlist after this to see how to do that. You just sort of shampoo it. So, for instance, as you can see here, there's still residue at the front, so you just want to shampoo that. Okay, so you just rub it into the lace, and then you'll notice that the residue starts loosening up, and you just push that into the middle, and then you can just pull it off. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that now. And when I come back to you guys, my head will be shaved, this system will be clean, and I'll be showing you how to rebond the next system. Yes guys, so now we're at the rebonding stage. I've actually decided against going with the new system, or the one I'm alternating between this one, and I'm going with the system which I took off earlier, because these are the kind of systems that most people get, especially earlier in their journey, but also most people tape their system, so I will be taping this system like I did last week when I initially rebonded this before removing it. So there will be tape, ultra hold strips, and then at the front I'm going to be using Lace Frontal by Sunshine Tape. So I've also got these little brushes, and Scalp Protector, which I will show you how to apply later. Now, as you can see, the system is clean. I've given it a clean. This is the front of the system, also clean. A little bit of cotton there, so that's off. So what I'm going to do, I'll start on the back. And I tend to, at the moment, I'm going through this phase of leaving gaps in between. And it's really, I find it really good because number one, it's more comfortable. And number two, it allows any sweat which may accumulate to escape out of the system through the gaps. So, oh, also it's quicker as well. So more comfortable, quicker to apply, and it allows sort of a bit of ventilation, which you get through the base of the system anyway, but it allows, if you're sweating, it allows the sweat an area to escape. And these little strips, I never used to be that keen on them, but I've started using them again recently, and my scalp is a lot more tolerant of it, which is awesome because they are pretty awesome. So you sort of take it off like that, you pull it off, and then you just apply it. So also something to consider, you might want to just chop the edges off like that, because obviously the system itself is quite round, so cutting the edges on each side means that more of the tape can sit on the base of the system. So there we go, that's the first one. And then with the remaining strips, you can leave a little gap. I always just cut the edges. I find it means that more of the tape can attach to the base. I'm going to sit around this side so I can actually see what I'm doing. I should have left the thumbtacks on because it can hold the system in place a bit better. But as you can see there, I'm leaving a gap. A gap of maybe, that's maybe like an inch. Actually, I'm going to reapply this one because it wasn't along the perimeter. It's a bit more difficult to see the perimeter when you're trying to keep it in frame, so I do apologise about that. So cut the edges, and then also wearing super skinny jeans doesn't make it any easier. I'm a slave to fashion. So there we go, perfect. And what you want to do, you just want to continue this round the whole way pretty much. So it's another strip. Again, just cut the edges. And these minis, Ultra Hold minis from Walker, which I get from Amazon, it's about £9, which is maybe about $11.50, $12 American. Again, please do Google that because I am not a currency converter. Okay, and this is the back of the system. Okay, so you can see there's pretty much two strips on this side, there's one on this side, and then I'm literally just going to put 2 or maximum 3 on the other side, and then we'll start looking at the front of the system. So yep, system's looking okay. I probably should have given it a brush before I started applying the tape. In fact, I could just brush it now. Let's do that now, just to make it just means that it sort of looks a bit tidier. It's not an essential thing you do this, but I sometimes do it just because it means when I actually reapply the base to my scalp, it just looks a little bit tidier. So there's a little less brushing for me to do. Obviously, make sure that if you have applied the tape, that the tape isn't sticky side down, because then it will just stick to the mannequin head. As you can see there, that's fine. Just a simple bit of brushing with a paddle brush. And look, the tape is still fine because these strips are two-sided and one side is like this, so it's not going to stick to the mannequin head. Right, let's crack on. Also, I've discussed this in other videos, that I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I'm working on that. I'm working on improving that. I think it's got something to do with my ADHD, to be perfectly honest with you. ADHD and OCD, but I really like to get things right, which is a blessing and a curse in some ways. I'm just going to do the other side now, so I'm going to try and ensure that this is caught on the camera, but also that I can see what I'm doing. These mini strips, I got them maybe a month ago, and there's still so many left, so they should last you a good couple of months, as long as you're not, you know, removing and rebonding the system every 3 or 4 days. I don't think that's necessary. I know some people do it, and some people do daily, and I'm definitely considering doing daily at some point down the line, daily wear with maybe 1522 tape, but I just don't feel quite ready to do that. So again, just leaving a nice gap for ventilation, etc. And then there'll be one more that I will attach down the side. So we've got 2 on each side, 2 at the back. So that's 6 strips to cover the circumference of the system. Again, let me reiterate that if you are wearing an ultra thin skin, I implore you not to use tape on it, because it can cause it to tear when you're doing a clean up. You know, these tapes do bind quite strongly to systems. If it's a lace, it's fine, or if it's a thicker poly, like a 0.08 or thicker, then tape is fine. So as you can see, we've got tape around the outside. I also put 2, or actually I put 4 strips in the middle, and this just helps the system bond in the middle at the base of the system to my scalp. So 1, 2, and that's kind of what I like about the strips as well. You don't have to spend ages cutting them to the right size, you know. 1, 2, that's 2, and then 3. You can also use these strips for the frontal. I've done it a couple of times. It's just, I find there can be a bit of a shine to it, which means that, you know, under a strong light people might see that shine, so I tend to avoid using that. I use, at the moment, Sunshine Lace Frontal. So there we go, all in the middle. So now I'm going to remove these, and then we're just going to do the front, and then that's it, and then you just apply it. Nice and easy. So they're so easy as well, these strips. You just pull them back like that. So you can see, because there's a little thing in the middle, you can pull it up and just like that. It really is so easy. It's fantastic. And it saves a lot of time. The hold is good, and it saves a lot of time. Interestingly, I don't get on at all with the Ultra Hold glue, and I don't think I'd ever use that again. Obviously, never say never, but I'm allergic to one, or at least I used to be allergic to one of the ingredients, and also one of the ingredients is flammable. So that's worth being mindful of. Okay, so we have these ones in the middle, so we'll have those off as well. Okay. Apologies if I go a bit silent here, I'm just trying to concentrate. With this particular base, it's 3 layered in the middle, so the actual tape bonds to the bottom layer. Okay, there we go. It's not bonding quite as well as it did last time, but it should be fine. So I'm just going to remove the remainder of them, and then we're going to start putting tape down on the front of the system. It's still a little bit wet as well, the actual hair, which is fine, it still sticks. The hair I can feel is still a little bit wet, and it still sticks, but it's just a bit uncomfortable to feel, because I gave it a little shampoo. So what I did was I just held the system over the sink and just poured a bit of shampoo on it, and then rubbed the shampoo in. So it's still a little bit wet from that. And if you don't like that feeling, you can just put a blow dryer on the actual system base for about, well, a couple of minutes, I suppose. Okay, now we're going to, I'm actually gonna, I think I'm gonna rebond that one. You know what, this is not sticking at all well in the middle for some reason, and last week it stuck fantastically. It could be because the base is a little bit wet. So lace frontal is what I use, and this is what I'm going to be using for the front. So remove that and remove that. And the key when it comes to doing the frontal, you want to make sure that the tape is overlapping over the next tape, the next strip of tape that's next to it. You want to make sure it's overlapping, because otherwise you're going to have gaps that come up. Okay. Right, so again, one of my key principles, cut the corners of each so it matches the hairline better. Yep. Still filming. Sorry. Sorry about that. Actually, I want to make sure you guys can see this. It's not the easiest getting everything in the frame as well as getting this right. Okay. Right, so we want it to be going there. Let's see, so you can see the hairline. You want to make sure it matches up like that. Okay, so it's matching along the hairline. Just gonna push these down, press them down. Great. There we go. Excellent. Okay, that's fine. You just want to make sure you're pressing down on it. And that's what you need to do just for the rest of it, really. You want to make sure it's going along the hairline as well. Okay. Ouch. Okay. Make sure that's in frame. So now I'm going to go along this side. So that's actually fairly straight along there, so I can do a fairly long strip. Again, if you don't feel massively confident, you can use the strips at the front. I just tend not to, because I find the hold isn't quite as good with those strips, and you can get lifts a bit quicker. I'm just going to do that along that side. There we go. And then I just pull it off. Beautiful. And now I'm just going to continue it for the rest of the frontal, which shouldn't take too long. And then that means we're basically fully taped up. And then we apply the Scalp Protector. And then I'm going to show you a little trick I use as well once I've done this bit. So yeah, that's going all the way along the hairline. Can be quite helpful not to bite your nails as well, because you need to pick at these things. Okay, I'm just pulling off these last bits. I want to make sure this is very well bonded. This one is just not wanting to stick. There we go. We'll do these back ones. This one just ain't gonna go, so take that off. Okay. Okay, let's get this full bit finished. So I just need to do this bit here. Now, as we're getting to the middle, it can get a bit curvier. So you might want to do slightly smaller strips. Okay. It's actually being really stubborn, this one. Ugh. See, this is classic frustration. This just happens sometimes. Okay. Right, guys, I'm just gonna do it and not talk for a minute because my ADHD brain is getting distracted by thinking I need to talk the whole time, and I'm just gonna focus on doing it because then I won't make screw ups. It's always worth putting like scissors in some boiling water and some C22 after doing a rebond, because it can make your scissors quite sticky, so you want to keep on top of that, or just have like a pair of scissors that you only use for hair system rebonds. Okay, now that I've been focusing, we're getting really close. Note to yourself, Adam, talk less. Okay, we are getting there. Okay. Oh, we are so getting there. So for this lace frontal tape, I've gone for 1 inch rather than 3/4 of an inch. I just find that it gives better hold along the front of the hair system, which is this bit. Okay, so that's the front done. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm just going to add a few more strips around the corners, like one that just wouldn't stick, and I'm determined to get it to stick. Okay, right. Hold. Now this one here. There we go. do one more strip in the middle. It sticks very well to poly. Not quite as well to silk, but still fine. There we go. Push it down. This is the last one. And I'm going to put one more little strip just there. Just a really small one. Okay. This is literally the last bit and it's so stubborn. There we go. Yes, 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 yes. We are there. We are there, we are there, we are there. Brilliant. Okay. Right, so fully bonded. This is the back, the middle there's some tape, and at the front there's tape as well. So I'm going to now leave that to the side. So I'm going to make sure that you're absolutely getting any grub or dirt off of your scalp once it's been shaved. Make sure you do the back as well. Be quite thorough with that. And then once we've done that, we can put on the Scalp Protector. Now, you don't have to put on Scalp Protector, it's totally up to you. I just find that I can get a stronger bond and a longer hold using it, so I tend to use Walker's. So, Scalp Protector, Walker's Max Hold Sport. All of these items I've listed them in my description box, so you just need to scroll down and you will find them, plus links to them. I think they're mostly UK links, because I don't know what the American links would be, or whether those vendors exist in America, but they're all available on Amazon pretty much, all of these things, so I wouldn't fret too much. Amazon, you can get pretty much all of this stuff. So this is the Scalp Protector, and you want to do this quite not liberally, you want to be quite conservative with how you actually do this. So make sure that you prioritize getting it around the sides of where the boarding area is, because by prioritizing that, that's effectively where the bond is going to go. So you want to make sure that you're doing it along the front of where you want the system to go as well. So for me, it's usually around here, and I'll be back in a second because I need to look in a mirror. Now, one thing that you can do is you can draw a line where you want the system to go. So we're going to do back to front. You can do, sorry, we're going to do front to back. You can do back to front if you want. I mean, I sort of mix up what I do. But today, the purpose of this video, we're going to go front to back. So I've drawn a line. So you might want to pencil for that thing, for that bit. So it's unlikely to be perfect because I'm going to be looking into the camera reflection to do this rather than what I usually do, which is basically placing it, or looking in the mirror basically. So you want to be going, make sure that's pressed down, perfect. So you want to be looking at where the lowest point of the front of the system is, and that's where you want your middle to be. So I'm gonna need a mirror for this, guys, just to make sure that I'm doing it in the right spot. It's very hard to do without a mirror. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. I'll definitely do more of where my stylist actually puts this on as well. Okay. Oh, it's very hard to see without a camera. Okay, let's just make sure. Yeesh, it's a bit higher. I was hoping it to be, but that's fine as long as it's not settled too strongly. You can just redo. Okay. Right. And so I'm just sliding it back now, like that. You just slide it all the way to the back, just like that. Now you might have some creases in it. That's totally normal. Kind of get used to those. Now I just need to grab my paddle brush, and then you just want to brush it, because there might be a bit of cotton wool in there. And there you go, Bob's your uncle. I've got a bit of hair there. Now this system is about 2.5 months old now, but you know, it's doing pretty well actually. It's doing pretty well. This is the Tyler, so I'm going to be looking to get hopefully 8 to 12 months out of it. I will make an 8-month review video. We'll see how we're getting on with it, but I've been impressed with it so far. And if you're interested in it yourself, don't forget the discount code Adam15 for 15% off. It's in the description box below. I hope you found that video helpful. Let me know in the comments box below, guys. Is this the first time you've seen a step-by-step hair system installation? Have you got any questions for me? Let me know in the comments box below. I'll engage with every single person who comments on this video. Hope you found that helpful, guys. I'll speak to you very soon. Bye for now.